Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Chinmayam Vyapiyat Sarvam Trailokyam Sacharacharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Gurudev says, if you don't stand for something, you fall for everything. So therefore, we left off in our chapter 18, Bhagavan indicating that all of us must have jnana, knowledge, a vision, something that we can hold on to. And everything should be gauged based on that knowledge. And the highest of the knowledge that we are looking for is the knowledge of the self. I want to achieve that. So keeping that as the center of my life, I should function in the world outside. So this is called Sattvic Jnanam, the highest of goals. But not everybody has the highest of goals. But whatever that goal that you have set for the well-being and welfare of the totality, keep that as your goal. Right? And then obviously from there you will lift again. So keeping that jnanam intact, understanding that jnanam, completely visioning what that is, keeping that as the goal, then I must apply that in my day-to-day life. It's nice to have a lofty goal, but how do you apply that in the day-to-day transactional world? So therefore Bhagavan says, whatever the situation is in life, you should be able to apply that into your day-to-day activity. So applying application in light of that knowledge in every situation in my life is called Sattvic Buddhi. So basically what? Most of us are very proficient in everything. But when it comes to acting upon it, when it's needed, are we able to do it? We're very proficient. I can give beautiful advice to all of you. But when I have to apply it, will it work? Right? So the proficiency and efficiency we had seen also before in one of the other talks. Right? So are we able to apply this knowledge in our day-to-day life? And one who is able to apply is said to have a Sattvic Buddhi. But one who is not able to, you can't say Sattvic Buddhi. So if I can't apply it in everything in my life, so aim is, I must be able to apply it. That's the aim. We may not be there yet. That's why Krishna is giving us a dashboard to try and distinguish where we are at. And then from there we have to work towards it. So one who has the Sattvic knowledge, and that knowledge applied in day-to-day life to constantly help you to get there. Everything should be gauged towards that. If I give you an example, and I always give this example, if you want to be an Olympic runner, now you are starting. Olympics is in 4 years. You didn't get in this time. The next 4 years. What should you do? From morning till evening, we should be thinking about the goal, the vision, what I want to achieve. And then that should apply in my activities outside. I should wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I need to go to the cold swimming pool. I need to do my laps. Then I have to go to the gym, do my gym work. Then I have to go to school, because if I don't go to school, the government will say you can't do your swimming. So you have to apply. Why I have to go there? Then I must eat the right food. I can't eat the junk food that everybody else is eating. Right? So all the things that I do must always be in line with the knowledge, that vision that I have. Can I translate that into my everyday action? Is called Sattvic Buddhi. Are you all with me? All right. So, practical. Then, when you're applying it, should you have any doubts? Maybe today I can eat potato chips. Maybe I'll go out tonight. Maybe I'll skip what? The swimming lesson. Practice. It's not unsurety. You are sure this is what you have to do. There is no wavering. This is called Sattvic Buddhi. Should I come to class? Should I come to yajna? It is so cold. Imagine if I thought that. What would be the condition? Condition will be what? You all will be sitting here, nobody will be here, that's all. And then you can talk about why I didn't come. Right. But the thing is, one has to be sure. Right. And then in that conviction, one must function. Right. So, this person who has this Sattvic Buddhi is sure. There is no doubt whatsoever. And bright and cheerful. Oh, I'm sure I have to do this yajna, but what to do? I'm sure I have to do. I have no choice. Otherwise, Arvind will knock on my door, break the door down and bring me down. What to do? Right? But the thing is, I have to be cheerful, positive, bright. Sattvic Buddhi. So this is our aim. So clear knowledge. And once clarity of knowledge is there, and you know what you want, everything else generally will fall into place. Generally. But do we have that correct understanding to apply it in every part of our life? It's not just a one-sided story. See, we all study Vedanta, right? Scriptures, you are Brahman. But that only happens in that 1.5 hour class. After that, what do? We put the book back in the shelf. And then we forget about it. Then next week comes along, you look for the book just before the class. Now online classes, right? So only 1 minute before, and then you're 1 minute late because you're looking for the book. And then you give somebody, Swamiji, what to do? We are all householders. Right? Wait, we only took that book out. That is why it is told you should come physically to class. Even today, those of you who went home last night, and because we finished early and Friday night, you decided to go out and then wondered what happened to your book today. So if I asked, where are your books? Oh, Swamiji, we forgot the book. Why? You don't even know where you kept it. Right? So the idea is that it should be applied in every aspect of our life. Then only the transformation will take place. Right? Otherwise, transformation will not happen. As I told you, it's like a donkey carrying gold. It becomes a burden. You know you have to do your sadhana, but you don't do it. And then you say what to do. Yamaraj will also say what to do. When he knocks on our door, are we ready to say, Hari Om Yamaraj, long time no see? It was only a few thousand years ago, only 100 years ago or 80 years ago, we saw him. Again, right? So, are we ready to meet our life? And how to meet that life? With that sattvic buddhi, with the sattvic jnana. So, with this idea, now Bhagavan continues to tell us about rajasic buddhi. See, we like to know which dashboard. So let us see now. Verse number 31.
Yaya dharmam dharmam cha karyam cha karyameva cha ayathavat prajanati buddhissa partharajasi.
So what is this rajasic buddhi? This person who has this rajasic buddhi is clouded and colored by all their preoccupations. We have certain notions, right? It comes to cloud us. And what are these notions expressed as? Our likes and dislikes. And the moment likes and dislikes comes into the picture, our notions come to play, then how do we then start looking at the world around me? When I have many options, when you have notions and ideas and everything, we suddenly start getting options. When we have no options, life is quite straightforward. This is all I have to do. But the moment you have option, then you don't know what to do. You go for a job interview and you get a job, right? They give you a thing. Hey, here's the job. You want to take it? That's it. Only one option. But then another option comes. Now, should I take this job or should I take this job? Right? So, this rajasic buddhi has, because of the notions it has, it becomes unsure. It's never sure about the action it is doing. And this is what rajasic buddhi is. Right? You ask a high school student, finished high school, you know that 3 months of called wastage of time. What do you want to do? I don't know. Maybe I will go on a holiday. Maybe I will get a job. Now, what are you going to do? Unsure. A little bit later, 23, 24. So what are your plans now? Now that you've got a job and you're working, and maybe I'll buy a house. Maybe I'll get married. Again, unsure. So, this mind, this buddhi, which is unsure. What I should do, what I should not do. What I should pursue and what I should not pursue. Right? I am in that undecisive state. Now, when you're in an undecisive state, we're not sure. What is the solution? So Arjuna is a perfect example of unsure. Rajasic buddhi. He knows what he has to achieve. But now he has got wavering mind. So what does he have to do? Find somebody who's got sattvic buddhi and get their help. Because with an undecisive mind, you cannot decide. But the question is, will the Rajasic Buddhi personality ask for help. So most of you say, no, he's not going to ask. Even if he asked, what will be the result of the advice given? Should I follow or not follow? Undecisive. That is why Krishna at the end of the Geeta, Arjuna, did you understand what I said? He said, yes, Krishna. You do what you understood. Because Krishna knows that when I am telling also, this guy will choose and become undecisive of this and that, and somehow he will make some decision on something, right? And then if it fails what he practices, what he does, what will he say? If I told him, do what I told you, you say, Krishna, it's all your fault. You only told me to do this. So Krishna says, do what you understood. Because with such buddhi, what can you do? Right? Now you hope that he would have got to that sattvic buddhi to make the decision. That's why even when you talk to Puja Swamiji also, you talk to your guru also, will give you a statement and then leave it. Will not force you to do the action. You can't force anybody to do anything. Right? You have to make your own decision. So this Rajasic buddhi is quite vague. There's some vagueness in the mind. It's not clear about should I do this or should I do this. There's always that, how do you call it? He's sitting in the middle. Right? I can go this way, I can go this way. Sometimes he'll start doing this and then change the mind and do this. Have you had university? Australia has such a fantastic universities. In the course you can change as many times as you. I think there's some I think they've cut it down now. I think you can only change 3 times or something. At one stage you can change any subject. One fellow was doing his studies for I don't know how long. It was 2 years finished, then get to the 3rd year. I said, Swamiji, I think it's time. I don't like what I'm doing. I'm going to change subject. I said, how many more years you have got to do? 1 more year. Then again start the next one. When I came to the 3rd time, the person asked me, Swamiji, I said, no. Now go and finish the other 2, one of them, and then come and talk to me about it. Right? How many things you will get to that? This is the Rajasic buddhi. So we have to understand this. So this is called Rajasic buddhi. Are you all clear? So that which one wrongly understands what is dharma and adharma, because he's not sure what is. Also, what ought to be done and what not to be done. And such a person, Partha, has a Rajasic buddhi. All right. So what is Sattvic buddhi? A Tamasic buddhi. This is what we have always very interested in. Because we know that we are undecisive personalities. But do I fall into this category? Or let me look around the room. Anybody is falling into this Tamasic category? Remember, Krishna has already told us, this is about self-evaluation. Part of our introspection. Don't introspect on other person sitting next to you or behind you. Or in front of you. I'm sitting in front. So don't come and tell Swamiji, I worked out what you are now. No, not allowed. I should work it out myself. Because if I'm that Rajasic buddhi, I won't believe you anyway. Right? Now what is this? Tamasic buddhi. Let's have it.
Adharmam dharmamitiya manyate tamasavrita sarvarthan viparitanscha buddhissa partha tamasi.
So what is this Tamasic buddhi? So what is Sattvic buddhi? One who clearly understands correctly what is dharma and adharma, what is moksha and bandham, what is liberation and bondage, what is to be done, what not to be done. And Rajasic buddhi, vague about everything, unsure about everything, unwavering, doing this and then doing something else after, is Rajasic Buddhi. Tamasic Buddhi, he is sure. Sattvic Buddhi also, he is sure. Tamasic Buddhi also, he is sure. He is convinced. What is he convinced about? That he is right. And what is his understanding? He understands dharma, whatever he thinks dharma is actually adharma. So he is convinced that dharma is adharma and adharma is dharma, ulta. So what is right? He thinks that's wrong. What is right? What is wrong? He says it is right. So it's the opposite cycle. And he has no confusion about it. So he says, Sarvatan Viparitamscha. About every matter, he will understand the opposite only. Now you ask, how can such a person live like this? Total misunderstanding. Everything is misunderstood. Total ignorance. Right? Veiled the truth. Right? Not only truth of Brahman, but veiled. Every other thing is also veiled. And sees everything differently. One example is that. One chemistry teacher, science experiment, had 2 beakers. One beaker filled up with pure distilled water. You think back to your chemistry days. And in one beaker, whiskey. Some may want to drink that in a cold weather like this, I don't know. Right, 2 beakers. Then one worm, a live, living worm, don't try this at home, only example, puts it into the pure distilled water. And then took another live worm and put it into the whiskey. And shook it, gave it a bit of a swirl. And then he showed it to the glass. What do you learn from this? All the students were very quiet. They didn't know what the question was. So one intelligent fellow put his hand up and said, "Sir, I know the answer." So the teacher was what is the answer? He said that one must drink whiskey every day. It will destroy the worms in the stomach. It'll kill the worms in the... What did the teacher want to tell? If you drink whiskey, you will die. So therefore drink distilled water, clean water, pure water. See, now how many of you thought? Right? So this is what we have to understand. That this person who's got this Rajasic Buddhi, what does he see? Understand? The ulta, opposite. What is right? He says it's wrong. What is wrong? He says it is right. Now such a person, how can you deal with? They become fanatical. Fanatics are like that only. Because they hold on to it and they can't see anything else. Right? You can't deal with such a difficult task. Whatever you say, they will say the opposite only. Just last week, I wrote to somebody, he said, "I hope you are well." So reply came, "Swamiji, do you think there's something wrong?" Now I didn't know what to answer here. Right? This is called Tamasic Buddhi. Somebody is asking for your well-being. I hope you're well. Right? If you're not well, you will tell Swamiji, "I'm not well, can you pray for me?" Okay. Right? But it is that I am thinking that fellow is not well. Hence they will end up in the well. So this is what. So this is called Tamasic Buddhi. At all the time. They look at dharma and adharma in the opposite way. Now, if you take the Mahabharata as an example, take Mahabharata as an example. Lord Krishna, as the last opportunity he had, I think that dough needs a little bit of oiling. Just like our mind and intellect, of course. That's why we're here. A little bit of collaboration. So, Lord Krishna goes to Arjuna as to Duryodhana as a last resort. Diplomat. And there are certain rules of diplomacy that they are only going to pass on a message or something. So Krishna goes there. And when Krishna goes there, Krishna tells Arjuna, to Duryodhana, hey Duryodhana, cousin, second cousin or whatever he is, through so and so. So he was welcomed by everybody, and then Krishna said, oh Krishna, oh Duryodhana, dharma is, you must look at the bigger picture, right? And adharma is what you are doing, right? And Krishna gave him a nice discussion they had. So Duryodhana listened. Not very happy, of course, but he listened. Then what happened? Duryodhana said to Krishna, I know all of this. And what was Krishna's purpose of going there? For the welfare of everybody and welfare of Duryodhana also, because Krishna knew that adharma will lose. In the long run, adharma will lose. In the short run, it looks like adharma is winning. And many times we also say, people are, tax time is coming, Swamiji, right? I will invest, what's that thing? $300 bill is there, that free, you get $300, right? There's $500 now. You don't have to give vouchers. 300, okay. Still 300 only, they haven't increased it. After this many years. I think whoever works for tax department, see if they can increase it to 500, right? So there were no receipt is allowed to be given. But we think, how does it matter? Tax department will not catch me. You try. And the thing is, somewhere we will get caught. Right? It all starts with the small things. Then slowly it will build up to big. So, here Duryodhana listens to everything of what Krishna has to say. And then he says, I know everything you are telling, Krishna. Right? But in Duryodhana's head, he doesn't see Krishna as his well-wisher. He thinks that Krishna has come there in the name of trying to help him, actually trying to get Duryodhana to withdraw from the battle so that Arjuna can have the kingdom. See how the buddhi is such that he has switched around even though Krishna is telling, I am here to help you so that you don't die, he is thinking you are trying to make the other fellow win. And so what does Krishna do? Duryodhana do? He immediately calls the guards to jail Krishna. Again, Durbuddhi. Buddhi is, right? So he tries to jail Krishna. Krishna shows him the Vishwarup also. Right? You think that, Krishna shows him his 400 big, still he doesn't see it. He says, no, you are against me. Right? Tries to. But Krishna leaves him. He said, okay, you might as well get finished off now. Krishna could have finished him, but he didn't. He left him. So this is what Duryodhana is. Tamasic buddhi. Somebody tries to help you, you look at the opposite. Somebody tells you something good for you. Sometimes they say, Swamiji, have you gone for your walk today? What do my durbuddhi? Oh, you're saying that I'm getting fat or what? Right. See, this is called durbuddhi. Somebody tries to help you and then you look at say the opposite, think of the opposite thing. And I'm sure we've all experienced this. And then later on you come to realize, that person was only telling for my own good only. Right? So this is tamasic buddhi. Now, are we all clear? Jnanam, sattvic jnanam, the knowledge. Then that knowledge translated, the ability to apply that knowledge in my daily situations of life and come to the correct decision, and application is sattvic buddhi. Right? So our goal has to be sattvic. But the problem is, are we sattvic buddhi? So therefore for us, when Krishna has displayed the three, sattvic buddhi, rajasic buddhi and tamasic buddhi, what is our state? We need to do what do they call it? In accounting we say, what is the balance sheet? The current situation of my current position. Right? Once I understand my current position, then I can work towards it. Yeah, so sattvic and rajasic and tamasic. Now the question is, I understand what this goal I want to achieve. I can apply it. I can apply it means I know what to do in my day-to-day life. I know what to do in this situation. But do I do it? I know that health is important. That is my goal. I know how to translate it into my day-to-day activities, whether with the food I eat, the active exercise I have to do, all of that I know. But then why doesn't it happen? Like that, we all have things, no? We know what we want, we know how to apply it, but yet nothing happens. Right? So therefore, very important quality Krishna now brings up to us. And this he has already introduced in chapter 6 of the Geeta. Another one I yesterday quoted, chapter 6 of the Geeta. So chapter 6 in verse 25, he says, Buddhya dhriti grihitaya. You withdraw with the mind, with the right understanding, accompanied by this dhriti, with this sattvic buddhi, with the sattvic dhriti. If you can apply, then your activities will become correct and you will get success in your life. But what is this dhriti? Simple meaning of dhriti we saw yesterday also. But dhr means to hold, to maintain, to sustain, to forbear, to endure, and to be patient. So when we want to achieve a goal, what do we need to do? We need to have the knowledge. We need to have the buddhi. We need to want to do it, the doership karta. We must know what the karma we have to do. But having done all of these things, we have to be patient. Now to illustrate this idea, to try and bring it all together, I tell you a little story. There was a group of monkeys. And they lived in a mango grove, in a garden of mango trees. And beautiful mangoes, etc. were there. So all the monkeys will go to that grove to eat the mangoes. And in most people's houses, in India especially, in big mango groves, there will be a guard. So when the monkeys go there to eat the mangoes, the guard will throw stones at the monkeys. So what will happen? The monkeys will get hurt, they will run back. So they won't eat the mangoes. So this was happening for a while. So the intelligent monkeys, they all got together and had a conference. They all got together and said, we must have a conference. So they all got together and they had a big discussion. We want mangoes, but the guard is throwing stones at us and we are getting hurt. The aim is the mangoes. So they concluded as a team that we will have our own mango tree. If you can't get that, grow your own. So one of the monkeys said, I have been watching the gardener planting mango trees. So I will show how to do it. So they all agreed, the whole flock committee. Conference was there. So they all went and stood around that little patch of theirs, and they dug the hole and they planted the seed. They covered it, and all of them sat around. Why? Waiting for the mango tree and the mango. So they all sat there. And 1 hour passed, and they started getting agitated. Why there's no mango tree? When are we going to get this mango? So one Hatakata monkey said, let me see. So he started digging the hole to see whether anything has come out. At least some sign of the tree plant coming, that stem coming out. Right. So he started. Then that other fellow who was so-called more intelligent, he said, Ari, what is wrong with you? Stop acting like a monkey. Don't you know? At least 4 hours it will take. Said that. 4 hours also, no. So they all concluded. What was their conclusion? Mango tree is not going to come. We are not going to have our own mangoes. So therefore we will all return to the mango grove. How does it matter if a couple of stones are thrown at us? At least we'll get a chance to eat the mango, no? Interesting story, right? What a wonderful thought. We must have our own mango tree. They planned out their action perfectly well. Then they even executed the action by planting. But what lacked? The patience. Now when we planted the ashram mango tree, patiently we waited. That first fellow when Guruji planted with Bhagavad Swamiji and all of us, we got 2 mangoes. So thank God we got that to Bhagavad Swamiji. So after that tree was not given anything. He's very happily sitting there. I talk to him, he looks at me, we are all very happy felt. Right? Then we planted 2 fellows here. But how long does it take? Every day you look at that mango tree, when are you coming? When are you coming? And then suddenly the mangoes start happening, and then everybody's eyeing it. And so is my friend who lives upstairs. Not God, the possum. Right? The possum. And then every day I'm looking at the thing and he's also looking from there. Who is going to get in there first? And then I plan everything. And finally that fellow eats the mango and nicely takes that net and put it nicely on another plant. Intelligent possum, I tell you. Who said that Vedanta doesn't transform other beings also? Very intelligent, right? So, unless we have this patience for this tree to grow and the mango to come, similarly with our life also. If I start a business, those of you who have businesses, right? The first few years, there will be loss. You're lucky if you have a profit. You're lucky if you have a break even, right? But over a period of time, if you have patience, you will get the profits, right? But one who understands this and goes into the business will not suffer. But one who goes into the business thinking that immediately I'll get the profit, right? So patience, this dhriti is required, right? And without patience, nothing is possible. So therefore here Krishna says there are 3 kinds of dhriti. Sattvic, Rajasic and Tamasic. So what is this Sattvic dhriti? Let's have a look.
धृत्या यया धारयते मनः प्राणेन्द्रियक्रियाः योगेनाप्यभिचारिण्या धृतिः सा पार्थ सात्विकी.
So, what is this? Dhriti. For Sattvic. Sattvic means noble, pure, bright. We have to keep remembering this. Yaya Dhritya. That Dhriti by which Dharyate. A person maintains, sustains and holds on to. Holds on to what? Mana, Pranaha, Indriya, Kriyaha. All activities of the mind, the pranas, the senses, the organs of actions, all of them should be unwaveringly holding on to what? Holding on to that knowledge that one wants to achieve. So one must hold on. What do I want to achieve? I want to achieve that mango tree. If that is my goal, I'm saying, give me an example. That's not a sattvic idea, but whatever it is that I want to achieve, I should hold on to it. I should center that, whatever it is that I want to achieve, as the center of my life. It should not waver. And I must become patient. Most of us are patient for some time. And then we become a patient. You know what a patient is, right? Unless you are patient, you become patient. End up in the hospital. Because disturbed, agitated, you say something, whatever. Right? So patience must be permanent. This dhriti must be permanent. But how to get this? Yogena. Through the practice of yoga. Srinivasa rolls up his sleeves. Swamiji, we're ready. See, yes, that is also required. Here Yogena is constantly contemplating on the goal you are trying to achieve. So the ability to absorb my mind in that goal. And hold on to that patiently. And I remember when I was at uni, my marketing teacher, I hated marketing. I don't know. And now I'm head of marketing. Something I must have been holding. Right? So the marketing person said, when they were teaching us, I think marketing human resources or something. Right? She said that if you want to achieve something, and then she gave the example of Carl Lewis. At that time, Carl Lewis was like, I don't even know who it is now, but Carl Lewis was breaking records, and she said, and she was an old lady, right, in a big lecture theater. So she went to the end of the lecture theater one side, and she said, and now you have to imagine you are Carl Lewis. Right, now we're looking at her. Okay, she's imagining she's Carl Lewis, okay. Then she said, and you must imagine what the goal is. And what is the goal for Carl Lewis? He has to reach the other end at the fastest speed and beat everybody else. Right? So you must imagine. Hold on to that. And then be alert in the present. And when that gun goes off, you go for it. Right? And then she ran across the room. Hilarious situation. But the idea is that in our mind and intellect, we must be absorbed in that goal 24/7. How much do I want it? And then I must apply that into my every action, and I must be patient. This dhriti is the patience, because in time only everything will happen. Right? So once you have set your goal in your life, by the Sattvic Jnanam. In the light of the Sattvic Jnanam, apply it in your day-to-day activities. There will be difficulties. There will be problems. There will be challenges. But to achieve and break through all of this, what do we need is an extraordinary level of patience. Because you are trying to achieve something great. And nothing happens overnight. Even though Guruji says to us, realization happens overnight. But he says, how many overnights? Instantaneously you will realize. But that moment is instant. But how many you have to get there? So for that you need patience. How many obstacles will come? How many issues will rise? Right? And you will also get tired also. Right? But you have to find, by holding on to that goal, you will find that energy to achieve it. Right? And those of us many of us have experienced it as sevaks. When Bhujo Swamiji comes, how you achieve things that you could never achieve before. Did you think, Shiviva, we will achieve this? Right? We achieved it. Who would have thought Rudrabhishek we could do it? Who would have thought Havan we could have done at the backyard? Right? All of these things we are able to break our boundaries when we hold on to that sattvic goal. And then in every step of the way, we are applying that goal into our day-to-day action. And we have to be patient. Challenges will come. And what is life without challenges? Right? What is joy of the glory? And then you look back and say, how we achieved it. Right? Think about it. We all have to think about this. Right? Even marriage also. I mean, not marriage after. When you're actually having a wedding ceremony, how many days you have to prepare for that wedding? Right? Sometimes you wonder, what is the use of all this? It's such a hard work. Right? Might just go sign up the document, go to the temple, done, finished. Job is over. Save that money also. It is actually a better investment, I think. So wasting time calling all these useless people who will come and make comments about how the food was not good, or the dress of the girl was not good, or somebody is wearing better dress than the girl who's getting married. Right? All utter useless. $100,000 gone out the drain. 100,000 could have been used for, if only they had Sattvic Jnana. I don't know what jnana we have for getting married. I mean, getting married is okay. Right? What to do? What I'm holding on to, it comes out of the mouth only. But anyway, but the idea is that obstacles will come, but must keep holding on. Right? And then you have these people, when you want to achieve something big and great. Now soon committee will talk about next year 75th anniversary. Right? And then we'll have people, what a wonderful thing, good work, Arvind, another brilliant. Then some people will say, what another program. I have to do all this work. People will demoralize you. People will give negativity. There will be people who will give positivity also. But your Guru has given you a task to do for what? And I always think about it. My Guru is enlightened. My Guru doesn't need anything. So that means he's making me do it because it is going to help me grow up. Right? Me to practice this. That's why you're getting jnanam, all these things now, so that when the activity has to be done, you know, I think how Bhagavan is so wonderful. Right? My Guru is giving me that work because he wants me to live from this limitation to the infinite. So holding on to that inspiration that my Guru gives me, not worried about whether people are going to pull me down or not, because there will always be somebody. Right? Holding on to that goal, you keep going. One story is there. One frog. There was a group of frogs. They were going to have a running race and climbing up the mountain. So all the frogs got together and there was the froggy games. So, not foggy games, froggy games. And they started. And they had all the other animals of that jungle, they've also come to watch. And each one is discouraging the other fellow. And the chicks also, they have these obstacle courses in their camps. They blindfold the fellow, and only one fellow is allowed to give direction and tap left or right. And then all the other fellows around it will be making noise and saying, oh, go left, go right, and discourage that fellow. That's right. And those who want to make it happen, the one activity is a very important activity. Our own mind also distracts us. That's right. So these frogs started running, and these guys were all discouraged. You can't do it, you can't achieve it. So 9 out of the 10 frogs stopped. They said, we can't achieve this. But one frog climbed the mountain. So all of them, the 9 frogs plus the rest of them, started wondering, what happened? How did this fellow achieve that? So they went and asked. And that fellow, they found out that he was deaf. So he did not listen to all this other nonsense that is, once you have made up your sattvic goal, you need to keep working towards it. Right? There will be people. Don't worry about them. Right? Take the inspiration if they give you, if they don't give you. And perfect example of Gurudev, when he started the first talks in Pune. Right? Or was it Pune or in Chennai? One of those places. There was some distraction. Distraction means some people came to tell him, don't speak in English. Right? You either speak in Malayalam or Sanskrit. Why you have to speak in English? So you better stop your morning talks. So Gurudev looked at the organizer and said, from today onwards, we'll have night talks also. So use it as an inspiration to see anything good will have to have obstacles. But don't give up that goal. Right? If we do God's work, Guru's work, the whole universe is there to help us. So don't cut short your goal because our little ego, inner conflict, outer conflict, is going to cut down that inspiration. Right? So when obstacle comes, use it as a stepping stone to keep going. Right? Put more vigor in it. That means there is opportunity. Right? So this is what happened to Hanumanji also. Now what did Hanumanji do? Hanumanji was sitting in the banks of Lanka, banks of India, Bharat. And all the chieftains, chief monkeys, Jambavanji, etc. were all sitting there. And each one was discussing their ability and capability. Hanumanji was sitting in the corner. Right? And everyone was talking. Then each one said, Jambavanji said, in my day, I used to go around the universe, around the earth 3 times. But now I am old. I cannot do. Then the next fellow got up. Angad got up. I can go, but I won't have the ability to come back. One fellow said, I can go halfway. Where? Halfway across the ocean. Then what happens? Puchki into the water. Useless. Right. So finally, they decided it is not possible. It is not possible. So that's why Gurudev always jokes. He says not to think our committee is much better, but this is what Gurudev said. I wrote this down also. He says, sometimes the definition of a committee is a group of people who individually cannot do anything. And collectively they get together and make a decision that nobody can do anything. Right? But Gurudev says the purpose of committee is what? Why have you been established? Is to move forward, to make it happen, to get things done. Oh, I can't, I'm exhausted. Right? So Hanumanji, everybody had said we can't, we're exhausted, we're going to die. Because the goal was if you don't do it, if you can't find Sitaji and bring her back or bring information back, then we'll kill you. So this was the ultimatum given to the monkeys. So everybody said we are dead. Then Jambavan looked around, old man. He looked around and said, hey, Hanuman, what have you got to say? He said, if all of you great people said, no, it is not possible, what can I do? Then Jambavanji said, Hanuman, do you remember what your guru told you? I hope you all know who Hanumanji's guru was. Surya Devata. He said, your purpose of life is to serve Bhagwan Rama. Now, whose job have you taken up? His job. And the moment Hanumanji heard that little Hanuman, he was not little, he was still powerful, but that Hanumanji grew so high that it said that 800 miles tall he became. Means one step he was there in, or 1-2 jumps he'll be there in Lanka. That's how tall Guru means he became that mighty Hanuman who could achieve the task. Right? Who are we here to serve? We are here to serve our Gurudev. We are here to serve Bhagwan. So therefore, don't make yourself feel, I can't. The more obstacles that come our way, lift yourself to the task. Because he will give you the strength to achieve it. I have set my goal, I am going to make it happen. And patience is key. Patience doesn't mean you become lazy. Some people patient, that's weak. You have to put the work in and then wait. If you don't plant the mango seed, you can wait as much as you want. Nothing will happen. So you put the effort and then wait. Let it spring. Right? So therefore, yogena, absorbing myself in the goal, be unwavering. And Swami Vivekananda says what? Arise, awake, stop not till the goal is reached. He took that from Yamaraj in Katha Upanishad, just for your benefit. So if you want to study Katha Upanishad, you know when you Vivekananda got from here. That's what I also thought. I said, what a wonderful quote. Then I was reading Katha Upanishad, it says, Yamaraj himself says, right? But the key here is, arise, awake, stop not till the goal is reached. And who has given you the goal? Your guru, who is none other than Bhagwan himself. You think Bhagwan will not make it happen or what? Right? So whatever that sattvic goal we've achieved, want to achieve, whatever goal we want to achieve, hold on to it and lift yourself. And chapter 6 again says, lift yourself by yourself. If nobody can achieve it, I can. Don't say, if nobody can, then I also can't. If one Hanuman can cross the ocean, because he held on to what it's the purpose of the Lord, you and I also can lift. All it takes is one person to change, one person to do something, everybody else will follow. One Mahatma Gandhi could bring the people together. Right? And like that, so many people in India for the freedom fight brought little people together. Right? All it takes is one person. One Swami Chinmaya had to talk in English, Upanishads and Bhagavad Gita, look where it is. Right? How many Bhagavad Gita translations are there? I think they should give Guinness Book of Record to Bhagavad Gita. Because that many translations are there in the Gita. But one Swami Chinmaya. Now if he had thought, Nobody will come. People told him also. Why you want to go there? Even Tapoji Maharaj said to him, why you want to go? These people are not going to listen to all of this. We are all listening or not? Right. That one Swami Chinmaya can do. So can we. He did it, so can we. So this is called Satvik Dhriti. Be patient, hold on to the goal, act in every moment of our life based on that with our Satvik Buddhi, and then having done the work, be patient. Don't become a patient. With that, we will finish the Satvik Dhriti. Tomorrow we shall see Rajasic and Tamasic Dhriti. And then what? I will tell you tomorrow. If I keep everything for today, then what? Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purna Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.
Hari Om all. I have again been given the unenviable task of requesting you to know and get inspired what is this Guru Dakshina means, what's the purpose, what it symbolizes and everything. Many of you would have heard this before, but when Gurudev gave a commentary in Melbourne, very first time, the topic was Kena Upanishad. There he explains the spiritual journey of a seeker. This is before the usage of electricity was known. So there Gurudev was saying that this sincere seeker, like all of us, was going in the forest to meet his Guru. On the way, he collects twigs and dry leaves and little pieces of wood, ties them around and takes it on his head to give it as Guru Dakshina. Thank goodness we have electricity now. Otherwise tomorrow, Swami Shrikarananda would have 50 bundles of wood as Guru Dakshina. The symbol, if you reflect on it, it's given to the Guru so that he can create a fire. With that fire he can cook, and also it gives him the light. As seekers, we have been told or taught by our Guru Parampara, by listening and understanding and doing our sadhanas, by quoting the text, it says, this fire of knowledge burns our vasanas. So there is a symbolic representation of the firewood, and now the electricity soon. So that is one way. Guru Dakshina is important because it helps us to, the fire of knowledge is kindled in us to burn our vasanas. That's important. There are several ways of looking at this contribution to Guru Dakshina to inspire all of us. Many ways. Each time, Swamiji is going to have more yajnas on chapter 18, so we will leave each example for each time. This time, people usually ask, nowadays with YouTube and all that, the same chapter 18 can be listened, seen by many, as Swamiji says, many versions of chapter 18 verses. Then why should we come here? Why should we give Guru Dakshina? YouTube version is cheap, free. We can sit in a lounge and have a cup of tea. It is the same knowledge. It is not the same knowledge anyway. Isn't it in Geeta, Krishna says, gives a list of people who is very dear to him. The very first one he says is one who is realized. Good. Is very close and dear to me. Next he says, one who realizes himself or herself, but is able to teach it and propagate this knowledge to others, he or she is very dear to me. Then he says, if you are not realized and if you can't teach that, but if you help in organizing satsangs like this, like the committee members, then they are very dear to me. Fourth, he says, you can't organize, but if you are able to fill up the chairs and listen, not tentatively, but intensely, then you are very close to me. So by coming here and attending, isn't it a fact that we all want to be dear to the Lord? Again, people may say, I am bored. My personal reason, some people ask me, well, you seem to know why are you there? It's very simple. I don't know everything, but my Guru Parampara has taught, and you chant there every time, Saroj Hanuman Chalisa. I believe the meaning is the dust of these evolved souls. If one or two of them are here, that the dust, if I can walk upon it, I am blessed. I will never know who is, evolved, who is not evolved, but there is. So that is one of the reasons why we should come, and by giving this donations, or it's not a donation, it's a thanksgiving offer. No amount of money can compensate what we are learning. Gurudev and Guru Parampara always says, you give more, you will get more. There are multiple examples of this as a proof. If Guru Parampara says, you give more, you will get more, then it is a dictum. Because when we learn Vedanta, they teach us you must have Shraddha. That even with some of the Upanishads start with the word Shraddha. So we can't have Shraddha, pick and choose. You can, if Upanishads say, and my Guru Parampara says, you must have Shraddha, and then he says, if you give more, you get more, then it must be truthful. And I know people who are standing examples of that. So I request all of us to dig deep in our pocket, because the money doesn't go, he's not going to enjoy himself. It is for the work done. When Guruji was here, he advised us, you give copiously for three sources. One is the benefit of the whole, and then for the benefit of the neighbor Chinmaya missions, like what is happening in Brisbane, and benefit of the motherland. So these three sources constantly and consistently need funds to keep the fire of knowledge being spread. So I request all of us, including myself, to dig deep and provide enough for the committee to do the best work they are doing. Hari Om.